Matt Stafford, 320 yards and 2 touchdown passes. Josh Allen, 342 yards and 3 touchdown passes. It was a duel for the ages, and the film does not disappoint. Welcome to Josh's Football Breakdowns, where we don't tell you what you're seeing, we let the film tell us what we're seeing. And what we saw on Sunday was the LA Rams eclipse the Buffalo Bills in a shootout. Let's get right into it. There are a lot of great plays to look at in this game, so we're going to pick things up with the Rams threatening on the first drive of the game. The Rams line up Davis Allen on the left side, and he's going to head downfield to block. Of course, Buffalo doesn't know he's going to do this, at least not quite yet. He could be running a pass route, for instance. So Epinesa tries to disrupt him, but now Epinesa is a little bit out of position, and Matt Stafford sees this on the read option. If Epinesa had stayed home, for instance, Stafford could have pulled this ball and kept it himself. Instead, the handoff goes to Kyren Williams, and he punches it in for the first touchdown of the game. Why would you call the read option with Matt Stafford? The team probably knew they were going to face that formation, and this speaks to great preparation by the coaches. When the Bills get the ball, the Rams send Michael Hocht on the linebacker blitz. But the Bills have a plan. Curtis Samuel comes across on the jet motion and Omar Speights goes with him. And because Michael Hocht also went on the blitz, now there's nobody left in the middle of the field to cover Khalil Shakir. The Bills would eventually get down to the 1-yard line where Josh Allen would take it himself, tying the game at 7 apiece. We're still in the first quarter, but neither team wasted any time employing a wide variety of strategies. Here, Buffalo knows that this is for sure a pass play. How do they know this? There's no running back in the backfield. Knowing this is a pass, the Bills do something here you might expect to see at the end of the game. They only rush with 3. The Bills have dropped everybody else back into a zone, but Sean McVay makes the perfect play call, flooding the zone with multiple receivers. And we have the luxury of just taking a look here at how each of these zone defenders has to react to all of these receivers coming through their zones. When Davis Allen comes across, he enters the zone of Epinesa. Dorian Williams has to keep an eye on Blake Corum. When Nacua heads to the other side, Matt Milano carries him through his zone. And this leaves Demarcus Robinson one-on-one against Damar Hamlin. So far so good, but if we take a closer look, by flooding one side of the zone, we see 4 defenders on one side without a whole lot to do right now, and nobody left to pick up Cooper Kupp. Now I know this looks really busy, but it really helps to illustrate how effective it is to flood a zone like this. And the real impressive thing about this play is that Matt Stafford spots this in real time. It's a 24-yard chunk to Cooper Kupp, and it would lead directly to a Joshua Carty field goal, and the Rams retake the lead, 10-7. We would move into the second quarter on the Bills' next possession, and here we would see a key sequence of events. The Rams line up with a 5-man front, and this makes sense because the Bills have lined up with 2 tight ends and a running back in the formation. This looks like a running play. But Buffalo is going to send 3 of these guys out on a pass route, but to help sell the run fake, they leave both tight ends to help with pass protection. With only 3 receivers out in the pattern, the Rams are able to cover all these routes despite sending the blitz. Josh Allen has nowhere to go with the football. He thinks about dumping it off, but he changes his mind, decides to pull it down, changes his mind again, and decides to throw it, and the result is an incomplete pass. After 2 more incompletions, the Bills would be facing 4th down and 10, and we would see our first punt of the ballgame. Or would we? Blocked! Live football, scramble, Hunter Long, scoop, the return, and the score. Touchdown Rams, and yeah, this would be a huge play in this game. One of the most difficult things to do is to long snap this football back and then block. But either way, Jake Hummel just gets a great push here. That is a great play, and when you're playing a big-time opponent like the Bills, plays like that are huge. With the Rams up 10 points now, the Bills would dig a little deeper into the playbook. Josh Allen looks directly at Khalil Shakir on the wide receiver screen, and the Rams scramble to get into position. The Bills also allow the defensive line to win, so that their offensive linemen can get downfield. And think about what Buffalo has just done here. They've removed 4 defenders from the play, and they're going to get the football to Ty Johnson with blockers out in front. This game is already crazy, and we're still in the second quarter. And I've got to acknowledge a nice block by Mac Hollins here too. Cash in the air, yeah, what goes up, gotta come down. So after these fierce exchanges, the Rams get the ball back and they would employ a similar strategy, lining up with 2 tight ends and a running back, but throwing a pass. The Bills, though, only rush with 4. We'll get back to that in just a second, and we're going to take a look at a really nice play here, but if we're being honest, and you guys can always count on me to be honest, LA did get away with a false start here. The officials didn't see it, and that's the way it goes. Because the Bills only rushed with 4, the defense is in a pretty good position here, but take a look at Puka Nacua. He very subtly just heads to the post, and that's enough to move the safety out of the way. Now Nacua can cut to the sideline, and he'll be one-on-one. A great route by Nacua. Now, this is still pretty good coverage by the defense, but now that it's a one-on-one shot, Stafford decides to take the throw. And Nacua makes a great catch, toe tap, inbounds. Wow. Let's go back to the snap. Great throw too, great catch, both feet down, inbounds, control of the football to the ground. Outstanding. Inside the red zone, the Rams would put Nacua in motion, and the defense shifts. With a tight end and a receiver now tight to that side, it looks like it could be a run in that direction. It makes sense that the defense would shift, but at the snap, Nacua would explode the other way on the jet sweep. Touchdown Rams, and there is no denying it. Puka Nacua is a game changer. Up 24-14 now, let's move ahead to the third quarter. Facing a 3rd and 10, the Rams again decide not to even bother putting a running back in the backfield. They're going to send 5 receivers into this pattern. The last time they did this, the Bills only rushed with 3. Well, here they're going to take a different approach. They're going to have the linebacker blitz, and they're going to drop the other safety down to take his spot. Why do they do that necessarily? Well, if you're going to send a 5-man blitz and your opponent is sending 5 receivers into the pattern, that means if you want to keep a safety back deep, and the Bills do, you have to cover them man to man. Stafford recognizes this and points out the blitzer. He sets up his pass protection, he knows the safety is going to rotate back late, and he knows that all the receivers are one-on-one with one safety back deep. He's going to have another one-on-one shot to Puka Nacua on the sideline. And take a look, the defender's back is turned, so Stafford takes the throw. And it's another great catch by Nacua. Everyone wants to rave about Stafford's arm strength, and it is great. Just look at that throw. But Stafford also beats teams with his mind. As the drive continues, the Rams send Cooper Kupp in motion, and Damar Hamlin goes with him. So you would think that Hamlin would be covering Cooper Kupp on this play. The Bills get a little crafty here, and maybe a little too crafty for their own good. Hamlin's going to cover Tutu Atwell on the deep route. Rasul Douglas is going to be the one covering Cooper Kupp. And I've stopped it here at the snap because we can already see a bit of an obvious problem with this. Douglas is lined up really tight right on the line. He's a little flat-footed, and there's nobody in front of Cooper Kupp to keep him from just exploding off the line. Douglas tries to grab Kupp. He would be flagged for this. Kupp beats him, and then it's another great throw by Stafford. Wow. And from this angle, we get a great look at Stafford looking off the safety, and by the time he realizes where the ball's coming, he tries to get over there, but it's far too late. Now, one thing we always like to do on this channel is highlight moments of good sportsmanship, and after getting penalized and a little embarrassed on the play, Rasul Douglas helps Cooper Kupp up after the play. It's a strong drive for the Rams to open the third quarter, and they would finish it off with a pretty simple play. The tight end and the right tackle would head to their right, and Kyren Williams would just follow them. But I think my favorite part of the play was Puka Nacua. You know, Nacua made a number of great catches in this game. He had a ton of highlights, but here he throws a key block, cracking down on the defensive end, and he doesn't just hit him, he's relentless. Man, I love that. So the Rams go up 31-14, and surely this game is over, right? Right? But the Bills are a legitimate Super Bowl contender. They would respond. The Rams wouldn't make it easy for them, though. They very cleverly bring Byron Young late, but they don't blitz. They drop Michael Holt back into coverage. And for good measure, they keep two safeties back deep. But here, I think Cameron Curl gets this a bit wrong, because both safeties go with Dawson Knox, leaving Amari Cooper one-on-one. And take a look, the defender's back is turned, and we can already see Josh Allen winding up to throw this football. It's a 26-yard gain for Cooper. Moving ahead a few plays, the Bills would be facing a 3rd down and 8. And this time the Rams do send a blitz. But they also drop back into a zone. And remember earlier I was saying when you send a blitz, you usually have to play man-to-man. Well, here we see the obvious problem of trying to play a zone defense while sending the blitz. You really do need that extra zone defender in the middle of the field. If you give an NFL receiver that kind of space, he's going to use it. And Shakir would take this thing to the house. It's an explosive play that puts the Bills right back into this ballgame. The problem for Buffalo is they're still down 2 scores, and it's getting late in the third quarter. The Bills go back into a zone, and another way you can beat the zone defense is if you can make those zones bigger somehow. Make those defenders have to cover more ground. And if you have a quarterback with a strong arm like Matt Stafford, one way you can do that is to stretch the field. So here they send Tutu Atwell deep. The zone defender has to be mindful of the fact that he doesn't want to give up a long touchdown, and it just allows Nacua to get in underneath. Interestingly, Stafford is in the shotgun here, and then he takes a pretty deep drop. So the defensive end has to be feeling pretty good about this rush, but Stafford just stays calm and climbs the pocket. And Stafford is shredding the zone. With time winding down in the third quarter, the Rams go back up by 3 scores, 38-21. And both defenses would try to make some adjustments. Here the Rams play man-to-man, and they're doing a pretty good job. And it's easy to forget with all this spectacular arm talent that we're seeing that Josh Allen brings an extra dimension to the game as a running quarterback. That is, of course, until he burns you. 20-yard gain on the ground, and then he's dragged down by the horse collar. Of course, we know that's been illegal for 20 years now. Personal foul on top of that, so it would be a 35-yard play. As we move into the fourth quarter, this time the Rams go back into a zone, and this time it's Buffalo that exploits it. And look at this, the ball gets there just before Curl does, and on the next play, Josh Allen would punch it in from the 1-yard line. And Buffalo would get the ball back. The Rams go back into a man defense, and with the pass rush closing in on Josh Allen, he once again shows why it is so valuable to have a running quarterback. Last year, Lamar Jackson was the MVP. This year, it might be Josh Allen. With the Bills just outside of the red zone, check out the stutter and go by Matt Collins. The Rams send a blitz, but by now Quentin Lake is a little bit flat-footed, and Hollins beats him to the corner, and Josh Allen is able to get rid of this football quickly. So pretty quickly here, Buffalo has drawn to within 3, but they have to give the ball back to the Rams. Buffalo ups the ante, sending a 6-man blitz, but here we would see great pass protection from Kyren Williams, allowing Stafford time to find Puka Nacua over the middle. How do you have so many points scored in a game like this? Well, in addition to the mental attributes both quarterbacks brought to the table, able to break down these defenses and get the ball out quickly with their spectacular arm talent, the pass protection was also excellent in this game. Neither quarterback was sacked. But inside of 5 minutes to play, we would get to a key moment in the game with the Rams facing a 3rd down and 16. LA would have to get all the way to the 30-yard line. That's how far they have to go to pick up the first down. The Bills rather shrewdly set up their defense right there. They're going to force LA to throw even further to pick up the first down, or underneath where they'll likely be short and have to face a fourth down. And to make matters worse, on this particular play, the pass protection breaks down and the rush looks like it's going to get home to Stafford. Stafford is forced to take the underneath throw. And it's a good decision. Parkinson is able to gain 11 yards. Stafford didn't try to force anything there, and now the Rams have a couple of options. So let's talk about the game situation. It's 4th down and 5, and the ball is on the 35-yard line. If they wanted to try a field goal here, the end zone is 10 yards, so that makes it 45. Plus they snap the ball about 7 yards back, so that would make it about a 52-yard field goal. That's pretty long, but the key here is it would only put them up by 6. With 4 minutes to go, I don't know if the Rams would be able to stop the Bills from scoring a touchdown and winning the game. So LA feels compelled to go for it here on 4th down, but now, because of the previous play, it's only 4th down and 5. It's 4th down and manageable. Let's take a look at their approach. The Bills only rush with 4, and only needing to get 5 yards on the play, the Rams put Cooper Kupp and Puka Nacua on the same side of the field, and the two of them put together a great route combination. Cooper Kupp goes deep, taking his man with him, and importantly here, he takes the safety with him as well. The Bills cannot afford to go down 2 scores, so they have to send the safety with Kupp. They cannot give up the long touchdown here, allowing Puka Nacua to come to the middle of the field. The linebacker moves over to pick him up. Now with the safety and the linebacker out of the way, there's nobody left to cover Tutu Atwell in the middle. This is a great play design because if the linebacker stays home to take away the route to Atwell, the Rams can complete it to Nacua instead. We've hit the 2-minute warning and the Bills still have all 3 of their timeouts, so this is another big 3rd down. 3rd down and 5 here. The Rams repeat the same approach. They put Cooper Kupp and Puka Nacua on the same side of the field, but this time there's a key difference. The Bills, instead of rushing with 4, send a 6-man blitz. And with all 5 receivers in the pattern, there aren't enough defenders now to have a safety back deep. There are 0 safeties on the field. This is a 0 blitz. Very risky. Again, only needing to get 5 yards, the Rams decide just to get the ball into the hands of one of their best playmakers, Puka Nacua, and they free him up by having Cooper Kupp come over and throw a block. Is he allowed to block like this? Yeah, he is, because he's within 1 yard of the line of scrimmage. Again, Sean McVay really knows what he's doing with these play designs. The pass is a little high, but Nacua makes the catch, and with no safeties on the field, there's no one to stop him. Touchdown Rams, and that is a game-winning score. LA would miss the extra point, but it's immaterial. They go up 9 points, 2 scores. There isn't enough time left for the Bills. Josh Allen would punch in a touchdown with a minute to go, but of course they have to give the ball back to LA. And there would be your final score, Rams 44, Bills 42. What an incredible game. One of the best games in the NFL this season. Without question, Matt Stafford outguns Josh Allen. The Rams take down a legitimate Super Bowl contender and stay just one game breathing right down the neck of the Seattle Seahawks in the NFC West. Wow. Well, the Rams are right in this thing for a playoff spot. And with an offense like that, who knows what could happen in the postseason. And, I thought that the NFC West whoever came out of it would have to win the division, right? That there wouldn't be any wild card spots left for any of the teams in the West. But take a look at the current standings. Washington, at 8-5 is sort of right on the cusp of losing that 7th and final wild card spot. The LA Rams could conceivably be a wild card team, but the best and clearest approach to the playoffs, of course, is to just win the West. And remember, they still have a tiebreaker over the Seattle Seahawks, beating the Seahawks in Seattle earlier this year. So as we take a look at the Rams' remaining opponents, first and foremost, they must beat San Francisco on Thursday night. That is not an option. But if they do that, everything could be lining up for that final week of the season. The Seahawks have to go to LA for that game. If the Rams win, they will have the head-to-head sweep against the Seattle Seahawks, and they would be the NFC West champions. Folks, I want to thank all my new subscribers. We're picking up a lot of new subscribers this year, so if you're new here and you like what you see, please subscribe. Leave me a comment. I read every comment, and of course, I want to thank those of you who have gone the extra mile to help support this channel. Your support has been invaluable. It allows me to take the time to give you the quality that you deserve, to do these videos right. And of course, I want to give an extra special shout out to our Patreon supporters. Guys, you are an essential part of this team. I could not do these videos without you. Thank you so much. You humble me, you honor me. I don't know what else to say other than thank you. All right, it is the Rams at the San Francisco 49ers on Thursday night. What a massive contest that is shaping up to be on prime time. Al Michaels, man, it feels so old school. It doesn't get any better than this. The LA Rams right in the thick of it after taking down one of the best teams in the NFL. What a game. All right, I don't know what's going to happen on Thursday night, but we are going to be here to break down that film, and I will see you guys then.